up, everybody? Dan Greer, EclipseDOT, coming at you today from Durango, Colorado. Actually, cruising around. My daughter's dance. I'm just cruising around, taking a little bit of time here. Actually, that mural over there, I love that mural. I don't know what it is. It's a guy getting a bird, like having birds come to him and stuff like that. Super cool. Anyways, I was coming to you today because I actually spent some time with a company here in Durango today, doing a little bit of work with them. It's super cool. They were like, Dan, we want to re-envision our whole transportation network and what we do. And I was like, oh, I can do that. I can help you guys with that. I love thinking outside the box. Totally my cup of tea. And so I was like, oh, I can totally help with that. And so I shot a estimate. I was like, this is what a 3-day deep dive is going to cost to have Dan come in. It wasn't super cheap. They were like, thought about it for a couple weeks, and they're like, oh, yeah, we can totally do that. And so they did it. And then actually, as soon as they contacted me, I came in today. Their transportation manager yesterday turned in their notice. And so they were like, oh, we're going to another job. And so they're like freaking out. Like the company's not really freaking out. They're like, oh, we can totally handle this. Like it's no big deal. But they're also on the same note, they're like, what do we do? We're losing somebody that's been with us for a really long time. Like, what do we do? How do we handle this? How do we move forward? Like, what do we do? And I'm like, cool. I'm an expert at transitions and acquisitions and stuff like that. Like, let's look at this. Let's not look at this as a time of, I'm trying to think of the right words here, in peril. Instead, that may not be the right word. Let's not worry about what we're going to do yet. Instead, let's think about what we need to do to be to get you guys where you need to be and transition smoothly into the next phase. And when I told the operations guy this, he's like, dude, that's wicked smart. What are you gonna do? And I was like, well, first off, I'm gonna go have some conversations and see what's going on and see what needs to be handled and see what you can outsource and see what you can get help with and see what you need to keep in house. And like, let's see where you stand before we figure out what needs to be done. Because if you're not in compliance, first step, get you in compliance. Second step is make sure nothing's dropped on balls. Third step, make sure like everything's going. And we need this all to happen at once. Like we don't want to let you guys lose your delivery process, right? So I had a chat with them, discovered a few things. Actually figured out that they could outsource almost all of it except for like 3 key items they need to keep in-house. This transportation manager had everything lined out, looked really great. Things were really good with it. With the system, I didn't really do a super deep dive into like what all the files look like because I'm like, okay, well, they don't have anybody in-house who can do it, so they probably need a third party this, and they need to train somebody who can do it. They have like less than a week to figure out how to train somebody, blah, 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 yada, yada. So I was like, okay, so here's a couple options. Shut them back, and I was like, yeah. So if you third party this out, you can use one company. It's probably going to cost you about $1,500, $2,000 a month to do it. You can use this other company. I know them. They're really good. You know, EclipseDOT. And I was like, it's probably going to cost you this much. It's about a third of what the other one's going to cost you to have it done. There's a little bit of an onboarding fee to get everything tied up and ready to go, but like you're taken care of and everything's digitalized. Way cool, right? And so did that, and then also figured out a few key things that they got to keep doing. And was like, okay, went and sat back down with the operations guy and said, this is what you could do. This is how you can do it. This is what it should look like. And it's kind of cool because I've never been involved in this situation before. I've been involved with lots of transportation manager turnover, or dispatcher turnover, or whatever you want to call it, right? Like I've been involved in a ton of that stuff. And but I've never been involved in like completely revamping let's call it distribution system. And I'm super excited to be able to do this and super excited about it. So stay tuned because we're going to be talking more about this as we move forward. Like what's going on, how we're doing it, and kind of a hub and spoke system that we're going to design from the old system, which is like, oh, go deliver it here and hire somebody else to do it. Because I just like came back from the NPSA conference, National Portable Storage Association conference, and I talked to so many people who are like, oh, we don't use trucks because, well, I've heard it costs too much money. BS. We don't use trucks because I want the liability of the DOT number. Whatever. How much money are you leaving on the table? How much are you losing instead of that delivery charge, right? Like, let's talk about that for a second. Let's like make it real. And so to be able to take this company that goes, we're not a transportation company. We sell blank. And trust me, it is absolutely delicious. It is super yummy, but it is not a transportation company. They're like, transportation is a cost of operations for us. And we're finally looking at it this way instead of thinking of it as a cost center to make money. trying to make money off transportation. And I'm like, cool. So let's look at this. So stay tuned to what we do. It's going to be super excited. The way we revamp it's going to be super exciting. And I'm stoked to be in the middle of all of it. So stay tuned. We'll hit you guys later. Bye.